Yo, what's up guys? Today we're going to be talking about my favorite budget smartphones. So let's go ahead and get started. So first up is the Motorola Moto G7 Play. So this was a phone that I reviewed. As you can see, it's going on Amazon for as low as 141. So this is a really excellent phone. The build quality is pretty decent for a sub $200 phone. Now if you look at the specs on this phone, it's not extremely impressive. It does have 32 gigabytes of storage, 2 gigabytes of RAM, a 5.7-inch display, which is actually a pretty decent display. So it does come with Android 9.0, which is extremely smooth. That was one of the things I raved about this smartphone, is that the build quality and the OS was just extremely smooth, and it was a pleasure to use. It wasn't slow at all. It is water repellent inside and out, which is pretty cool for a a budget smartphone. This does have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 632 processor. So it's got a excellent design. The cameras are a little so-so, and this thing has a massive notch, but it looks, it looks bad in the photo, but it actually is not that bad once you get it in real life. All right, so next is the UMIDIGI F1, another phone that we reviewed on the channel. It is still going for $200, which is still a great price. So this does have Android 9.0, 4 gigabytes of RAM, the Helio P60, a massive 5150 milliamp battery. This phone lasts 2 days straight. You do have 18-watt fast charging, NFC, 16 megapixel and an 8 megapixel camera. The only thing about this phone is that the build quality isn't as good as the Moto G6 Play, as it doesn't feel like a, yeah, it feels like a cheap phone, because of the plastic soft touch back, but if you put a case on it, that'll easily wipe that away. This phone is excellent. It's fast. The battery lasts 2 days. This is the best bang for your buck. You get Android 9.0. It plays games pretty well. It does pretty much everything great for the value, and you get 128 gigabytes of storage. So it just checks off everything. This is definitely the best phone to get. Like I said, the only thing it is a little, the cameras aren't that great. They're decent, but they're not, don't expect to be blown away. In good lighting, you'll get great photos. Decent lighting, they'll be meh. Next up is the iPhone 6s. Now you can get it for as low as 143. So I like the iPhone 6s because, yeah, it is an older phone, but it does have the latest version of iOS, which is really cool, and you're not really missing out on anything. You do have the fingerprint scanner on this model still. This is very fast since it does have that latest version of iOS. The cameras on the iPhone are excellent. Overall, it's just a really great smartphone. I really like the screen size on the iPhone, not being massively huge like most phones. So if you have smaller hands, you really love the iPhone. And of course, you get to do the latest stuff on iPhone. You get to have the App Store and FaceTime and all that stuff. So it's just a really nice. I really like this phone for people with small hands. So if you have small hands, definitely consider this, and it's just massively cheap. All right, so here's another phone we had on the channel, the Huawei P30 Lite. This phone I absolutely love because of the design. It was an all glass design, and you have a triple camera setup, so it just looks very modern. Now it is a little bit more pricier at $289. But it is an awesome phone, definitely for the build quality. It does have 128 gigabytes of storage, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and a 6.15-inch display, that 32 megapixel camera for the selfie camera, and it's just an awesome device, guys. It's very smooth. It plays games no problem. So if you're looking for a phone with excellent build quality and great cameras and a great display, this is definitely the phone to get. All right, so last is the Galaxy A50. So this is probably the best overall out of all these phones because it just does everything slightly better than all these phones. So it does have 128 gigabytes of storage, 6.4-inch Infinity U display, a triple camera setup, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and this one has the built-in fingerprint scanner, which is pretty nice for a budget phone. You get a really nice design on this phone as well. So one of the things I really loved about this phone was, of course, the speed. Samsung's UI is really nice on here. The cameras are, I think, the best out of all the phones on this list. This takes excellent photos, and you have all the little Samsung features that are built into their UI. So the battery life lasts about a day and a half, which is pretty great, and I think the price point is right on with this phone. So an excellent smartphone. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.